take a look at this clip. We will take a break, and we'll be right back.
We Muslims have been ordered to do brainwashing.
He's better than 1,000,000 George Bushes, Osama bin Laden. He's better than 1,000 Tony Blair because he's a Muslim. Muslims shouldn't be satisfied with living in other than the total Islamic state.
Hi, I'm Pastor Ken, and welcome to ABN. Starting this Friday, November 26th, Jesus or Muhammad Marathon is back at ABN. We have great speakers like Dr. James White and David Wood, Usama Dakduk, Mohib, Tony Costa, Kamal Salim, and Walid Shubat, and many others are going to be with us. If you have any questions about watching this show, call ABN at 248-416-1300 or go to our website at www.abnsat.com.
Jihad has come to America.
Constitutes the most devastating series of terrorist attacks in history.
The only deen Allah accepts is Al-Islam. And whoever seeks any other deen apart from Islam will never be accepted.
Allahu Akbar! And we stand together to win the war against terrorism.
But you too will make your destruction.
Welcome back to Jihad Exposed, live on ABN. Quick announcement, make sure you stay tuned tomorrow night, Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Pastor Joseph on News and Views, where he takes today's hottest news headlines and dissects and tries to explain how Islam is related to today's violence that we see around the world. That is every Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. This time, let's take our next caller. You're live on Jihad Exposed. Who do we have on air with us?
My name is Jerry Gordon, and I wish to thank my friends, Walid Shubat, Kamal, and Tom Trento. I'd like to pose a generic question to you all, and that is, if in fact Sharia is sedition, as defined under Article 6 of our Constitution, why is it not applicable for our U.S. Congress to conduct hearings to amend something called the Smith Act, declaring essentially Sharia to be seditious in terms of seeking overthrow of our form of government under the U.S. Constitution, and therefore prosecuting people who espouse it?
Thank you, Jerry, for calling into the program. I will have Brother Walid address that question for you.
Well, I'm not in position to give comments on the American Constitution and law, since I'm not an expert in that area, more of an expert in Islam. So maybe I will pass that question to maybe Brother Trento or the other guests who could answer it more fully, better than I could.
Okay, Tom, did you want to take a stab at that? Tom, are you with us? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. Want me to answer it?
Yes, go ahead.
Sure. Article 6 of the United States Constitution simply says that the law of the United States shall be the supreme law of the United States. It's pretty simple. Can't have any laws above the United States doctrines and codified law. Okay, that's simple, step one. Step two, do these military bases, and it's critical for your viewers to understand that what we view as a religion in the West simply is not what Islam is. It's a totalitarian, political, theocratic, military system primarily, but it masquerades as a religion in the United States to live within the protection of the First Amendment. We have had over 100 mosques infiltrated by people we know that have done an amazing analytical study of the Sharia compliance levels within that mosque, from 65 different metrics, the books that are being sold, the sermons that are being preached, the cuffs that are being rolled up, the alignment of the shoulders during prayer, whether you step with your right foot through the doorway first, all of these extremely Sharia compliant metrics to determine the totality of which would determine whether or not the mosque de facto was teaching sedition. That is the ultimate overthrow of the United States government. 80 to 85% of over 100 mosques infiltrated were determined to be analytically teaching seditious doctrine. So the caller, Jerry Gordon, good friend of the three of us, a brilliant analyst in his own right, is asking, why doesn't the United States government do something about it? The test for sedition in the United States is somewhat archaic. We haven't tried anybody for sedition in I don't know how many years. It's a 3-part test. The third part is where it is anemic and needs to be changed, and we need congressional hearings to change it. And here's the third part test. This is why we can't close these mosques down that are teaching sedition. You can stand on a corner and be an imam and call for the overthrow of the United States government. That's protected under the First Amendment. But if there is an imminent behavioral change from the words you speak to somebody's actions to accomplish what you're asking them to do, then that becomes seditious behavior, and the speech becomes seditious speech. We have found that the United States government, is hesitant to make the connection between the words said and the behavioral actions of those who implement some of these seditious policies. There are many brilliant people right now on our team in the United States trying to change that, to tighten, to actually loosen this doctrine of the distance between the word said and the action taken. So it's just that certain words said can be cause for arrest for sedition. And it gets a little more complicated than that. But this is a battle that we will be fighting in the coming years. And if there's a conservative Congress coming in, then they'll be more open to holding true to American constitutional privileges and not let a phony, baloney, very dangerous military system come in and take over, as we've seen in Europe. All of us go to Europe. I was there last year several times in Paris. It's a mess. The UK is a mess. We still have time to save America.
And before we take our next call, Waleed, if you could explain to us a little more what Americans can do to take action.
Well, obviously, the position that happened in Oklahoma is the right way to do it. And this needs to continue in states like Texas, conservative states, in which we ban Sharia. So any Sharia legislation that wants to attempt to stick its head in our system, basketball courts solely for hijabi girls should be outlawed. Mm-hmm. The idea of a taxi cab who does not want to take a blind man in his car because it's against Sharia, a dog is not considered a clean animal, well, he must then be fired and his business closed down.